Well, you ain't never gonna break my pride, and you ain't never gonna hold me down. We are back. We were gone last week. Couldn't do the week one preview, but we are gonna give you twice the energy today. I'm with your your resident Cowboys fan, Casey Merritt, and your resident Patriots fan, Justin Duncan. How are you doing today, Casey?
Oh, I am ecstatic to be back, boys. We are in the full swing of the NFL season, and it could not be more beautiful.
Oh, I'm doing good, fellas. And this is should mention that this is Casey's last show as a bachelor. Congratulations, Mr. Barrett, on
Appreciate that.
upcoming nuptials this weekend.
Much appreciated.
Definitely. Congratulations on a new step forward in life. Definitely a new step forward in life. So we're gonna go first to Justin. Because of course we're gonna go to the Patriots fan. Cincinnati entered the game. What was it, 7.5 point favorites? Home favorite against New England. New coach Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, and man, they came through 16-10 victory. I just want Justin's take. I'm gonna mute myself and hear what he has to say.
Well, what I would say about the game going into it, my son and I were watching it. He asked me, "Are the Patriots good? Are the better team? Are they better than the Bengals?" And I had to be honest with you. No, they're not. We're probably gonna lose. And I was shocked. I mean, one thing I should point out, I was not shocked as how well the defense performed. The defense performed as what's the phrase? As advertised. They were they were going to the last half of the 23 season. They were top and down the best defense in the league in terms of points allowed and DVOA. They picked up right where they left off. And they have absolutely bought in to Gerard Mayo as the head coach. Hats off to him. First win as an NFL coach. And Jacoby Brissett did not look like a statue. He actually picked up some yards with his legs, which I did not expect. And the offensive line was not Swiss cheese. This was I mean, I don't want to sound like the monkeys and saying now I'm a believer, but this did not put any doubt in my mind that they can't compete. They will compete. They will at least be in it. They're not going to be pushovers. And I was more than happily surprised to see what happened. But you got to say the Bengals were an absolute no-show.
Yeah.
I mean, Joey Chestnut in the crowd with a bratwurst eating contest at halftime, and they just completely just shat the bed, and everything lined up for them to just waltz all over New England. And New England said, "We're not going out gently," and they just took it to them.
No, I agree. I think that New England played their game to a T. They played mistake-free football. Their defense came to play, and Jacoby Brissett made a throw or two that was needed. That is the definition of what they need to win football games right now, and they did it. You have to be truly happy for the way they performed, especially for a first-year coach in Gerard Mayo. I don't know if this is going to be a recipe for success throughout the course of the season. I'm with you on that, Justin. I'm not going to call myself the monkeys yet and say I'm a believer. I was impressed with that first game. I think that they have built a formula, if they can replicate that formula, that I feel they can potentially, I'm not going to say compete, nor am I going to say make the playoffs, but they can at least be competitive.
Yes.
And bring more of a fight than we originally thought of them this season.
Because on paper, you could make the argument they could have gone 0-18 easily.
Yes.
On paper. Absolutely. But, I mean, they won that. I think we can all agree that top to bottom through the schedule, they will not be a better talented team on paper. No way, no how. That's why they tried to throw a ton of money at Brandon Ayuk, and for all it didn't do anything, obviously. But,
agreed.
but they have the heart to hang with these guys, the bigger teams. Do I think it's going to be enough in the long run to improve upon their my prognosis of a better than 4-win season?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Again, you have to. Again, this is probably a lightning in the bottle kind of week. I mean, granted, Joe Burrow is horrible week 1. He is 0-3 the last 3 years, and Zach Taylor, their Zach Robinson, their coach, is sucking wind as week 1 as a coach. But can't be upset with the results. I mean, they got their home opener this week against Seattle, which should be a potential win for them, because Seattle didn't look great against Denver until the second half.
It took them a half to settle in.
Mm-hmm. But it should be an interesting week. I'm optimistic for this week.
I can see why you'd be optimistic. It's your home opener, so there's always that. That's always a good thing to have your home opener. It's going to be in front of an electric crowd, because they're going to be pumped up. It's a West Coast team traveling to an East Coast facility for a 1:00 kickoff. So I think New England has a lot of advantages coming up in this week. We'll see if I pick them in our upcoming pick segment. I'm not off the boat completely of them winning that game. I think it's a toss-up at this particular point. I do think Seattle is still the more talented team. They have the better quarterback, I still feel. But New England's defense showed it hasn't lost a step.
And I think, if I recall correctly, when we had our preseason schedule picks, the Seattle game was like the one, like, hey, of the first 5 or 6 games of the season, that might be the best chance. Because we all agreed that Cincinnati was, exactly, and we all agreed that Cincinnati was supposed to steamroll the Patriots, and that didn't happen.
Agreed completely. What do you think, Ian?
Can he unmute himself?
Does he know how?
Can he figure it out? Can he press a button? Nah, but this was a very good week for a lot of teams and a very bad week for a bunch of others. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at you, New York Jets. Oof.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't the best when it came for the Jets. I mean, obviously we know who the 49ers are, and we know that was going to be a tough game. But for the Jets to have one comparable drive, and then one obviously free Aaron Rodgers touchdown, and then otherwise look pretty atrocious throughout the course of the rest of the game.
They were 3 and out for most of like 7 out of 8 of their drives were like 3 and outs, it seemed like, at least to start off with. But I mean, you had one good drive with Aaron Rodgers, and the other touchdown that they got was with Tyrod Taylor, so you can't really count that because that was in garbage time.
Exactly. No, and I think that I'm definitely not jumping over the edge when it comes to the Jets. I feel like these things can take time. You got to remember it's Aaron Rodgers' first game, and coming off that ACL injury, only playing 4 snaps last season. I think it will take him a little bit of a time to adjust. I still have high hopes for the Jets.
But that defense, I mean, yes, I mean, okay, I'll be the first to say my preseason hot take that San Francisco might fall off a peg or 2 or 3.
Not looking good.
Not looking great. I'll be the first to say, because I thought Ayuk was going to be gone, so I thought that was going to be a big hit. So I'll be the first to say that my preseason hot take, I will be wholeheartedly say I reserve the right to say I am completely wrong. So
not yet. It's only week 1. We can't be jumping overboard.
Yeah, that was just one game.
I reserve the right to say that I was wrong. How about that?
But that's fair. That's fair. Now, what about you, Ian? What was your biggest takeaway from the Patriots game?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what. Yeah, I'm still here. My bad. I completely agree with what Justin said. They're not. I mean, week 2 against Seattle. Seattle had a sloppy win against Denver. We're probably going to talk about that at some point. But they're not going to be the more talented team. What they're going to be able to, compete with teams with is going to be their toughness. And Brissett, man, he did a good job. I mean, there was a point in the second quarter there he was just picking them off. Like he steadies them enough to where, I mean, look at how Justin said, how well their defense performed at the end of last year. Like they're not good, they're elite. And if you could just have a guy that doesn't fuck up, then you're gonna have a chance. And they had a lot of new, was it Demario Douglas? They look different out there. And then, like you said, don't give up on it's week one. It's still week one.
I mean, there was one questionable throw that Brissett threw into the corner shot to Hunter Henry, who took away a pick. But other than that, you can't really point out a ton of flaws in his performance.
No, I thought Brissett played very well. Like I said, I think that was the total game plan for a New England Patriot-led win. Play stellar defense, mistake-free on offense, and Brissett make a throw or two a game, and that's exactly what happened. As I said earlier, again, I don't know if that's a recipe for success long term.
It's too early to call that the Patriots Super Bowl of the year, but it's not too far off from saying, at least from expectations.
Yeah.
So
that I can get behind.
Yeah. But how about them Cowboys?
Sheesh.
So, again, I'm sticking to my philosophy that I had at the beginning of the year. It doesn't matter what they do in the regular season. It's not going to sway me one way or the other. But I am going to be objective when I talk about them in positive ways and in negative ways. First and foremost, it looks like Micah Parsons got better, which is
How's that possible?
scary.
Is that possible?
They were trying to
should
double
be.
team him. They were trying to triple team him, and nothing was working. That man had 11 pressures in that game, 5 hits and a sack. He was unstoppable. That Dallas pass rush was immaculate. They made Deshaun Watson uncomfortable all day. I think they recorded 6 sacks. They keep that pace up.
They made him more uncomfortable. He makes a woman.
Hey-o!
Those
Obviously-
are new allegations. We're going to talk about those later.
I was impressed with Dak. I think everyone here is under the understanding and under the agreement that once Dallas got that big lead in the second half, they were just playing coast offense. They weren't really trying to move the ball too much, trying to kill the clock and get out of there with a win. I think that was pretty evident. I think that I am enjoying the new, I think his name is Kavion Carson, a new corner that they picked up. He locked up Amari Cooper, was on him one-on-one most of the game, and had him in a bag. I was very happy with that. Trayvon Diggs, first game back, got an interception. The new addition, Eric Kendricks, got 2.5 sacks, also got an interception. Ezekiel Elliott looked okay, got 40 yards and a touchdown. The Dallas offensive line, their new addition, Tyler Guyton on the left side, they helped him a lot because they didn't want him to go one-on-one with Myles Garrett most of the game. But even in his moments that he went one-on-one with Garrett, he looked okay. I was impressed with what I saw with Dallas. I think that they are slightly better than people were giving them credit for going into the season, given to the key pieces that they lost. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup with the Saints this weekend. Because, I mean, obviously the Saints looked like the best team on the planet this past Sunday, and we'll get into that, whether that was just because the Saints are actually going to be really good this year, or were they playing a team that belongs in the Canadian Football League? It was one or the other.
That was a D3 football team that was on the field that game. Let's just be honest.
The Panthers money line, bro. That shit, because they had something going when they were down like 20-0, and then they fumbled. Yeah, dude, that was brutal. I do want to say one thing about the Cowboys game, though.
I was gonna say I kind of want to get your guys' take on the Cowboys game too, though.
Yeah, as far as one thing I've been thinking about all day is because we worried all week. I was personally worried about Dallas's offensive line is, not the same that it was. They're banged up. Who's their running back? Who's going to play running back? And they go out and they win by 16 points. And it didn't really feel like that close at all. And you talk about how shitty Amari Cooper played, nine targets for 2 catches, not even 20 yards receiving. And at Dallas, like you said, the thought of Micah Parsons getting better is something that I dread to fathom as a fan of another NFL team. But I mean, the Cowboys look good, man. But one thing, what I was gonna say is one thing I've been thinking about is we need to talk about instead of how the Cowboys could have lost that game. Nobody was talking about it. Seemed like the situation in Cleveland and what they had to do to win the damn. They looked fucking awful. That Cleveland looked terrible. Like they're gonna be like that division. They're
But
gonna
was
have.
that a factor of Cleveland being bad, or was it how good Dallas's defense was?
I don't know. They look like shit, bro. I mean,
They
you're
both
right.
look like both aspects look like crap. I mean, honestly, Dallas. I mean, Dak looked like he would want. He came in there like, okay, I just got the biggest payday ever. I got to earn it. So he balled out. Zeke decided I'm not going to go down looking like a chump, so he balled out. So I mean, and Dallas' defense came to play as normal, so you can't really fault them. But Cleveland is in a deep load of trouble, and I'm not even getting into Deshaun Watson's own legal troubles.
Yeah, that's ugly. I mean, so if, and this is just if, right? If that is happening when it comes to Deshaun Watson, who do the Browns call to be their quarterback?
Brian Hoyer.
I was thinking maybe
backup?
Ryan Tannehill.
Who's their backup?
When's the last time Tannehill threw a pass in the NFL? 2017.
No, a little
Last
bit
year.
after that. Yeah. Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, he did play a little. When did he play for Jacksonville? Who the fuck he played for last year?
Last
That was
year,
CJ
Tannehill
Beathard that was played for Jacksonville last year. That's who we're thinking
Yeah.
of.
But
It's been a few years.
I think Tannehill might be a valid option for them.
Oh, I'm thinking, why am I thinking Ryan Fitzpatrick? Oh my gosh, no, Tannehill. Okay.
Who's their backup?
The Browns?
I'll pull it up.
backup?
Hold on. give me
I'll say
one.
that I actually don't know.
Was it Tyler Huntley or is he still in Baltimore?
It might be Huntley.
Let me see. The Cleveland Browns backup quarterback is Winston.
Oh,
dude,
Jameis Winston.
Done.
Okay.
Done. Slam dunk. You move to him now, honestly, with how bad Watson looked. You move to him now.
That would be a smart move for Cleveland, I feel.
If anything, yes, it saves face, and B, you get a better product on the field, at least in terms of consistency. I mean, yeah, Jameis Winston has a propensity to throw picks, but he throws for a ton of yards.
And it's not like Cleveland's void of weapons.
Exactly.
He has guys to throw to. I mean, and he is I mean, we've seen all the memes about the picks, but I mean, he's a serviceable backup. You don't have to go call Ryan Tannehill, who's sitting on the couch, who you don't know what he's going to look like. I know that was just an example he threw out, but we don't know what he's going to look like.
No, that's a valid point.
And you have Jameis.
I'm going to finish it off like this when it comes to this Dallas take here. I think Micah Parsons is going to have a strong case for Defensive Player of the Year this year if he continues this. I know it's only week 1, so I'm not going to get all crazy with it. But he looked better. Like, he looked faster. He looked stronger. If in the NFL, if you are attempting to triple team a guy and still he gets to the quarterback, it's either A, your offensive line is completely inept, or this pass rusher that you're facing is just a completely different animal.
I think it's a combination of the two.
Mm-hmm.
At least for Cleveland's case. But
I mean, they're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. They're in trouble for sure.
Let's jump to Ian's game. Another tough loss in Detroit, back-to-back games now, basically, because that's how you guys ended the season last year. It's how you began the season this year with a tough loss in Detroit. If I were you, Ian, this is just me, as if I were a Rams fan, obviously there's no such thing as a moral victory in the NFL, but this isn't a loss that I'm hovering over. It's not a loss that's going to bring my hopes on the season down. Are you in that same boat, or did you see some things out there, except for the Puka Nacua injury, that's definitely going to cost them? But other than that, are you in the same boat where the Rams played very well against an obvious elite contender in the NFC?
Yeah, and it was pleasantly surprising. It was pleasantly surprising the way we fought back, and I mean, especially on that last drive, bro. Like we were just doing whatever we wanted. Stafford looked great. Jared Goff, I think it was either the touchdown pass or it was a long pass. Like that dude just looked, bro. Like he saw the pressure, just instinct, ducked out of two people and threw a dime. We just, just couldn't beat them. Like I don't think we really did anything wrong. They came down at the end, and Jameson Williams is somebody that he was hyped, had a gambling suspension, and he came out and balled out. Like it was hard for us to stop him, but all things considered, and considering after we got burnt like fucking toast on that play, our secondary did. I thought it was going to be a blowout at one point, and then we come back, we almost win the game. Um, Detroit is just a good team, man. That's all I can really.
They are.
That's
They
all. I
absolutely
mean, we went to overtime. You know what I mean? Like it's not like we lost in. Like we went to overtime. We lost by 6. I'm not really too worried about it. I mean, like you said though. I think you said it perfectly. There's not really such a thing as a moral victory in the NFL because that could be the game that barely keeps us out of the playoffs or barely keep. Like you know what I mean? It's a winnable game. It'd be different
it
if
was.
we didn't have a chance to win it at the end that we fought hard, but we had multiple chances. Um, I'm pretty optimistic. I like what I saw. Our defense looked good without Aaron Donald. Cooper Kupp just couldn't be stopped. I don't know. We have a lot of weapons. We're gonna see how Kyron Williams is able to perform coming out. Obviously, Puka being out. I mean, that's gonna hurt, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There was times where I thought that what's his name was the only fucking damn receiver on the field, Cooper Kupp. And then we have Parkinson, the new tight end. He did some pretty good things. He didn't really do anything concerning. Tyler Higbee was wearing that same number last year, so I'm pretty optimistic. I think it's gonna be a good second week. So when I make my pick, it can be a good one. Speaking of picks, I don't think we need to make them wait any longer. What do you guys think?
I think we need to hold off for a few minutes.
Ah. I want picks. Go ahead.
Well, before
What you got?
we get into that, because we yeah. Let me ask you this. What do you think the Rams at this current point in time, would you
Right.
consider them the best 0-1 team?
I mean, there's nobody else that really like thugged out a lot. Like, I mean, everybody else that, I mean, who else on one that's really good? Baltimore. I mean, Baltimore, that offensive line is a liability. Like, I don't know how good they're gonna be. I might say Baltimore. I mean, because they did go right down to the wire with the Chiefs. Cincinnati, like what I'm saying, best 0-1 team. I'm talking about the team that looks the most solid. Obviously, you know, excuse me, it might come down later down the line. We figure out like, okay, that team actually sucked. But I mean, yeah, I think that they're the best. Them in Baltimore. I mean, I can't really think. Let me see. I mean, because Cleveland got their fucking ass kicked. I mean, there's nobody else. I mean,
What about Cincinnati?
they lost to the Patriots. I don't. I mean, there's. Yeah, like you said, that's a good point. Joe Burrow's 0-3. His last 3, opening games. But I mean, I don't think that they deserve to be in the same breath with a team that just took the Lions and then the Chiefs respectively right down to the wire in a one possession game. Like we might come out next week and it might be like, okay, the Browns are easily the best 1-1 team because or no, sorry, not the Browns, the Bengals.
What about
They're
the
easily the
Jets?
best.
There's a lot of options for this.
I mean, there is, but I mean also too at the same time, like I said, what I feel like their long term potential could possibly be. I'm more so talking about what just based off of what I saw week 1, not necessarily if it can. Well, I mean, kind of optimism for the future, but I mean, the Jets come out and lay an egg like that. Like I don't really could turn around, but I don't think they deserve my recognition. Is I guess what I'm saying because of their performance. Same thing with like the Bengals and Browns and shit like that.
I get that. At this moment, right? If I had to give my analysis on the best 0-1 team, I would lean. If I had to do a top 3 at the moment, and no disrespect to the Rams, I'd probably put them at 3rd. I would go Rams 3, Ravens 2, Jets at 1.
Yeah. I mean, and what like I just want your reasoning to kind of see where your mind is at before we go to Justin's take about who the best 0-1 team and who the worst 1-0 team is. What's your reasoning for choosing the Jets as number one? I mean, they did not look good at all last night.
If I had to give my reasoning for the Jets, it would be a lot of different things. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers being at the quarterback helm for them is going to be extremely helpful. I truly feel they still have a top echelon defense. Garrett Wilson, obviously one of the most electric receivers in the league at the moment. So I feel that you're fine. I feel that they still have a lot to figure out, but coming in terms of just pure talent wise, I feel that the Jets probably should get the rankings still as the best 0-1 team.
That's fair, and I don't think there's really. I mean, because like I said, man, it's the Jets. It's Aaron Rodgers. Granted, we could talk about, Aaron Rodgers didn't play up. I mean, he didn't play all last year. Like, let's give him a little bit of time.
That's my thought too.
It's like, you know what? Before we crucify Aaron fucking Rodgers of all people, this isn't Kirk Cousins that we're talking about coming off of a major injury. With all due respect to Kirk
Rodgers.
You know what I'm saying? It's and then also before we get Justin's take, I want to say that it's awesome that Joey Chestnut did a bratwurst eating contest at halftime. That's like fucking Wayne Gretzky coming out at like halftime of an NBA game and fucking slap shotting a rollerball.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But Justin,
what do you think? Who's the best 0-1 team?
On paper, it's got to be the Jets, but I got to say that Jets defense, which is supposed to be elite, got exposed. Yes, San Francisco's a great team, but that defense looked like Swiss cheese.
Yeah, you got to give – that's a good point, too, because especially you got to give so much credit to the 49ers because they did this without Christian McCaffrey.
Christian who? I mean,
like that's
Jordan Mason balled out. And
he had a hell of a game.
I picked him up in fantasy just for like you kind of have to.
If he can stay consistent and actually take a load off McCaffrey's plate, and McCaffrey can be fresh going into the playoffs, San Francisco is scary.
But I mean, Aaron Rodgers did not lose that game for the Jets. Honestly.
No.
You can make the argument Breece Hall didn't help him.
Nah, he didn't.
It's more on the defense than anything, to be honest.
But it's definitely it was the defense that just completely didn't show up. And the funny part is Robert Saleh, who was the defensive coordinator in San Francisco for 4 years under Shanahan, went up against Shanahan's offense and just
shit the bed
completely.
Yeah.
All right, boys.
Without
further ado, I say we get back to the greatest segment of mixed reactions.
Let's let Justin finish.
On Thursday, September 12th at 8:15, we have the Buffalo Bills traveling down to South Florida to face their AFC rivals, the Miami Dolphins. And we are starting this pick off with the man who has the team in the AFC East, Justin Duncan. Who's your pick, Bills or Dolphins?
I'm going to take the Dolphins. The Bills kind of lucked out because Arizona, Kyler Murray couldn't see over his offensive line to see Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open in the end zone.
Oh, my God. Don't remind me.
Dude, I had Marvin Harrison Jr. as in my fantasy team for my wide receivers, and he was a practical no-show. 4 targets and only 1 pick, one catch. It was awful. But Arizona wasn't a great team. Didn't look great. Arizona was up big on Buffalo, and Buffalo came back. So, and that's, I mean, you also have to consider the fact that Josh Allen hurt his non-throwing hand. So, is that going to be any sort of effect on him in long term? But at the end, I mean, Miami was by and large the better team this week. I got the Dolphins.
Ian, who you got?
Look, man, it's so tough because, like Justin was saying, like Cardinals didn't even look great in their own right. Bro, I don't know. I mean, Miami no more game day distract, and they still won. It seemed like Josh Allen was doing a lot of saving the damn Bills, but I like the option they got out there with Scantling. I'm not saying I think the Bills are going to be better this year, but I do got them Sunday.
You mean Thursday?
Thursday, sorry.
I mean, Josh Allen has been saving that franchise for the last 5-6 years now, and as I mentioned before, this year going into it, the defense is going to take a step back. They did. I think it's going to continue on.
So I'm with Justin on this one. I'm rolling with the Dolphins. It's a September game in Miami. That's when Tua looks like an NFL quarterback. Other parts of the year, not so much. But this is the time of the year where he still looks like he belongs. So I'm going with the Miami Dolphins to defeat their AFC rivals.
But no one likes playing in Miami at the end of the summer. No one does.
Exactly. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. Tyreek Hill's going to break at least
it's also
one
going to
for
be
60.
8 at night. It's also going to be 8 at
playing
night.
under the lights. I got the Dolphins. I think it'll be a close one. I'm going to say 27-23 Dolphins. Now, boys, we're moving on to Sunday. There is no Friday this week, so that's kind of depressing. The first game on the schedule, we have the reigning NFC champion San Francisco 49ers heading into Minnesota to play the surprising 1-0 Vikings and Sam Darnold. Boys, I don't think they're making it to a surprising 2-0. I got the 49ers in a rout in this one.
Niners by at least 20.
Anybody who knows me will know that I do not think Sam Darnold is a good football player. Niners by 25.
I figured we were all rolling with the Niners on that one. Now, this one, my friends, is not only a Super Bowl rematch, it's one of the most intriguing games on the schedule for obvious reasons now. We have the 1-0 Seattle Seahawks going to Gillette Stadium to play the 1-0 Jacoby Brissett-led New England Patriots. Justin, since you're the Pats fan, you're going last in these picks. And I am going to say, Ian, who do you got?
Seahawks.
I as well am taking the Seahawks.
I'm gonna run with the Patriots in a close one again. I think they're going to be flying high from the first win of the season, and it's their home opener. Give me the Patriots by sub-7.
Sub-7? Okay. I can absolutely see that. I wouldn't be shocked by that in the slightest. Now, the next game is an NFC East showdown between a team who potentially looked worse than the Panthers. I don't know if that's possible this past Sunday. The New York, they don't know how to play football Giants, traveling to the Commanders to play Jaden Daniels in the Washington Commanders. I'm rolling with the Commanders.
The Giants looked like the darn Montreal Canadiens with those god-awful uniforms. That was just
Oh
disgusting.
my God. They look like a fucking retarded fucking candy cane or something. I don't know what that was.
It looked like they were trying to emulate the Michigan Wolverines with the helmet, and looked like the Montreal Canadiens with the jerseys. It was bad. Commanders, please. Commanders.
Yeah, Commanders. Definitely Commanders.
Give me the Giants.
What?
Ian's taking the Giants. Wow, what a moron. So for the next game, we have the Los Angeles Chargers playing the Canadian Football Panthers.
Chargers by fucking 90.
Chargers. Definitely Chargers.
Here's the question. How many, a prop bet, how many throws until Bryce Young throws another pick into the game? I'm saying the first
13.
5 throws. First 5 throws.
Here's a prop bet. Does Justin Herbert sit on the bench at all because they're up by so many points?
No.
I think
that's not in Harbaugh's DNA.
Yeah.
You think he just run it up?
He'll run it up.
Yeah, literally, because he's going to run the ball 40 times. He's going to run it up.
What we got next?
The next game, folks, is the New Orleans Saints Going into Jerry's world to face the 1-0 Dallas Cowboys, and I'm going last in this one, boys.
The Saints look great against a crappy Carolina team. Give me the Cowboys.
Yeah, I disagree with Justin says they look good against a crappy team because I don't think I think crappy is calling them crappy is an insult to shit. Give me the Cowboys by like 40, bro. This isn't even going to be close. They're 6.5-point favorites. Like what crap in Dallas? Oh, you know what? I take that back. They're playing the Saints, not the Panthers. I still think the Cowboys win, but they played a shitty. Give the Saints a little more respect.
What's the line on the Chargers?
They played the Panthers
because we were just talking about the Panthers. What's the line of that game?
The line in that game. Oh, it's minus 6.5 for the Chargers.
That needs to be higher. It needs to be minus 10.
That's what I said about the Raiders game, but everybody's like, Raiders are going to win. Yeah, eat a dick. We all got Cowboys, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys, obviously. I'm taking the Cowboys,
your take
obviously.
on it? Oh, I thought you said, like, let me go last because you had, like, a take. Okay, what's the next game?
So the next game, now keep in mind, boys, Jordan Love is not playing before you make your pick. I don't know why I'm helping you boys out with your picks by telling you that. We have the Indianapolis Colts led by Anthony motherfucking Richardson. And, boys, I just want to say he looks like he's going to be a problem in a good way. That boy has a cannon on him.
Do you see that throw, bro?
Oh, the one to
the touchdown.
Yeah, to Alec Pierce. Oh my God. He only completed 9 passes, and all of them were phenomenal, it looked like. That boy's got some talent. Okay, yeah. Traveling though to Lambeau Field. Home opener for the Packers, but their quarterback's probably gonna be Malik Willis. They may need to call up Ryan Tannehill. Give me the Colts.
I'm gonna think the Packers in a close one.
Nice. That'd be a big win. That'd be a morale booster for sure.
I'm going the Colts for sure.
Anthony Richardson, man, I'm not passing on him. It's one of those things where, like, if the Colts lose and I lose, then so be it. But I'm rolling with the dude that looked. And, dude, I was wrong about him, bro. I thought he was just one of those flashy, could throw the ball. That dude is wow. Like, bro, he's amazing. Who we got next?
So for the next game, we have the Cleveland. Deshaun Watson's going to get another charge before he throws a touchdown. Watson heading to the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. I am going with Jacksonville.
I think you have to go with Jacksonville just by default. Because, that Cleveland team looks just so haphazardly awful. I mean, my God.
Give me the. Sorry. I thought you were done.
So I think we all rolling with the Jags in that one, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I've actually got Cleveland.
You got Cleveland. Okay. Man, y'all are making some crazy picks today.
I don't think I know they played Miami, but to give up a big lead like that, and I don't like bringing stuff, because they're pro athletes at the end of the day, but all the shit Miami had going on pregame, and you couldn't even hold a lead. The Browns played Dallas. I don't know if it would. Don't get me wrong. Their quarterback situation is atrocious, but I don't think that we could just, on that defense, just chalk it up. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence goes crazy. I think the Browns caused some turnovers. I think they make some plays.
Okay, so Ian's got the Browns. So next game, nothing too exciting. I mean, we got the 0-1 New York Jets going to the Tennessee Titans, who are also 0-1, who lost a game without allowing an offensive touchdown, which is kind of sad when you think about it. I mean, Caleb Williams, good gracious, buddy, you won your game, but boy, did you play like dog shit. I'm rolling with the Jets.
The Titans and the Bears looked like the damn thing out of Benny Hill.
It was atrocious. Atrocious quarterback play from both Will Levis and Caleb Williams. I'm rolling with the Jets in this one, though. I think they have a huge bounce back game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Jets, and the defense. If the defense with the Jets doesn't show up, I would suggest wondering if Robert Saleh should be on a hot seat. If the defense doesn't show up.
I agree.
I mean, he's had a few years now to not have these glaring vulnerabilities. Which, I mean, look at the talent of the Jets. I got the Jets, by the way. I don't think it's going to be relatively close. I don't completely not believe in Will Levis at this point. But I mean, the Jets. I think it's a bounce back spot.
Levis has shown flashes. He really has.
Yeah, I mean, except for when he fell to his knees like his fucking dog just died after he threw that pick instead of trying to make a damn tackle. I mean, he had a legit shot to at least cut off the dude to take the ball off, but whatever.
So here's an interesting game. The next one, boys. It's also ironic because the Lions they're opening with the two teams that they most recently played in the playoffs, both at home. We had the surprising Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who Baker threw 4 touchdowns last week, boys. I don't know if you knew that. He threw 4 touchdowns, and they're heading in to face Detroit. Give me the upset and give me Tampa. You guys remember last year when I kept every game Tampa would fuck me? No matter what I picked, the opposite would happen?
So you think it's going to be the opposite this year? Is that what you're trying to say?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. They're gonna be my secure pick. Every time I pick Tampa,
they're gonna be your NFC dark horse all year long, aren't they?
I'm going with Tampa in an upset over the Lions.
So I'm assuming Justin's not a complete fucking idiot. Are you going with the Lions, Justin?
I'm going with the Lions. But I think that there's a chance it could be closer. But I'm going to take the Lions still.
Oh yeah, man. No, and all jokes aside, and the crazy thing is, like Casey mentioned, I didn't notice. This is the same order that they played those 2 games that they played.
Yes,
Rams beat them.
Yeah, wow, shit.
At home.
Fucking ironic, dude.
Yeah, that's wild, especially since they had control over the schedule, whatever. But anyway, they're playing in
Detroit.
Oh wow, Sean. Oh, never. Oh, now I was looking towards week 3, but yeah, I think I got Detroit, man. I think Tampa's defense looked good. I mean, don't get me wrong, they looked good at times against the Commanders. I mean, I wouldn't call it a bullshit time touchdown, but Jaden Daniels, when he hit the Quan, it was game was almost out of reach at that point. Tampa, I thought looked good. I thought they looked good all week. Baker Mayfield, bro, 4 touchdown passes, 24 for 30. That man was.
Get him out of Carolina, get him out of Cleveland, and look what he's doing.
He's not a bad quarterback, bro.
No, he never has been.
No, he's not. He's had crap teams around him.
I bet Cleveland's regretting that decision now.
Oh, by a mile. Like we spent $230 million for a lawsuit?
Now, the next game, boys. You guys know how the Ravens, Isaiah Likely, they were out by a toe. Well, they're going to get some redemption here. They got their home opener against Ian's Las Vegas Raiders.
Motherfucking faggot. Oh, we're canceled. All right.
Give me the Ravens in a blowout, to be honest.
Does Aiden O'Connell know how to throw the ball forward?
Does Alec Pierce
Gardner Minshew's their starter. It doesn't matter what Aiden O'Connell can do.
I thought it was Aiden O'Connell. Oh, shoot.
No, it's Minshew.
Oh, boy.
Give me the Ravens in a big one.
Yeah, Ravens by a lot.
Ravens by a lot. And also before we get on to the 4 p.m. segment, because I think that wraps up the 1 p.m. segment, the 1 p.m. slate. I just want to get your guys' opinion on because the Raiders had the ball, Chargers like 42, I think it was 43, and they decided to punt the ball down. What was that? I think 7. What do you guys think of that decision? I think Pierce made some terrible decisions. Don't get me wrong, but that wasn't one that I killed him for. I'm like, they ended up downing the ball at like the Chargers 4. Chargers, I think they went down and scored. It didn't pay off, but I didn't think it was a terrible decision. I thought it was a decent decision that just, had faith in the defense and they let them down.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
He made a defensive call, and the defensive call didn't pan out. Was not a bad call. It just backfired on him.
Now to kick off the 4 o'clock segment, we have Ian's true team, the Los Angeles Rams, trying to bounce back against their NFC West foes, the Arizona Cardinals. I don't think this is too much of a game. I got the Rams by at least 2 scores, and Ian, obviously you'll go last on this one because it's your team. What do you think, Justin? You got Rams by at least 2 scores as well, I'm guessing. Or maybe not.
Well, I don't know. Justin may have stepped away or something. Oh, there we go. There he's back.
I'm sorry. My bad.
I don't know. How are you feeling about this one?
I don't know if you heard. The next game that we have up is the Rams and the Cardinals. I got the Rams by at least 2 scores.
Yeah, I think Rams by 10. I'm looking for Marvin Harrison Jr. to have a bounce back game, because he's not going to let Kyler Murray get away with that crap again. Yeah, but
Oh my! Oh my God! Oh my God! All right, I'm back. What do you
Fuck
got
is
though,
wrong
Justin? You
with
got
you?
the Rams.
Yeah, I got the Rams.
My bad. So before I give my pick, man, the Arizona. I like red zone. I'm more of a person. Well, I mean, if my Rams are playing, I'll always watch that. But I usually just stick with one game. This weekend, probably because I had money on it. It was the Bills and the Cardinals. I like, Arizona choked. Josh Allen essentially had to put the team on his back, but I still like what I saw from Arizona. Kyler Murray, dude, his hands are so tiny, bro. I mean, James Conner had running the ball 16 times, 50 yards. Kyler had 5 carries for 57 yards. Dortch is getting a lot more looks out there. He was targeted quite a bit. They like to try to go up top to McBride. They did a couple times at the end of that game, and it just didn't pan out for him. I actually it wouldn't be an upset spot. They actually have Arizona -1. I actually like the Cardinals. I think our defense looks solid against Detroit. The one thing that we didn't have to account for is Jared Goff. Oh, wait, what'd you say?
A run defense?
Run defense. Well, not even that. It's the mobile quarterback. I mean, without Aaron Donald, it's going to be our first game without arguably the best defensive player ever, and we're going to have to deal with Kyler, who, I mean, he looked good last week, bro. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. I think that we have looked decent in the secondary. We haven't looked too bad. We just got John Johnson back. He looked good at times, but I think Arizona wins this weekend.
You have the Rams falling to 0-2.
Wow. Cooper Kupp's like a MVP himself.
I don't see it. All right,
Hey, before the next game, I think I showed you guys my parlay. I got Lakers, New York Rangers, LA Rams, USC Trojans to all win the championship. Fuck with me for more financial advice.
$150,000 out of that.
Fun fact. Fun trivia question then. If the Rams were to do that, if your prediction holds up 100% true, right? And they fall to 0-2. Can anybody tell me the last team that went 0-2 that ended up winning the Super Bowl?
Giants with Tom Coughlin. No, I take back my answer. I take back my answer. Don't. I didn't count.